he's not getting impeached. If Bill Clinton can sexually assault a vagina with a cigar in the Oval Office and not get impeached, he's not getting impeached. Hey, welcome to I Think, right here on ClankTV, the show where I tell you what I think. And today we're going to talk about this guy. His name is Jeffrey Toobin. And you probably don't know who he is, but I'm going to tell you who he is. He works for CNN and why you should care and why he got owned big time, and I enjoyed it. But first, let's take some Southern Comfort shots. I know Southern Comfort, you know, some people are not with it, but you know, it's fairly inexpensive. It's actually not bad. This is the key. What you want to do is, I don't really mix it with anything. You got to take it in shots, and then you want to go ahead and put this lemon right there. Right there. A little bit of lemon. You just go right down. Smooth, and like 3 or 4 of those, and you're good to go. Anyway, so who's this guy, Jeffrey Toobin? He works for CNN. He's a correspondent. He works supposedly some other newspaper. He's always on CNN, so I don't know when he's working anywhere else. And what happens is that he talks out of nowhere. You know, like I want to say out of his ass, but that would be a place. He's really out of nowhere. He's someone that hates Trump. And it's not that I'm for Trump, but sometimes you just gotta relax. You know, go live life. You know, go. You know, have a drink. You know, not everything is Trump, and he's not my president. 45, blah blah blah. It's like, you know what? Cool. You know, express your opinion, but once in a while, you know, I actually miss pictures of food and babies on Facebook because everything is just so either for Trump or anti-Trump, and it's like, you know, people just need to relax. Like, he's not getting impeached. You know, that's what he might get impeached. Comey's testifying. He's not getting impeached. You know, if Bill Clinton can, you know, sexually assault a vagina with a cigar in the Oval Office and not get impeached, I mean, what do you got to do? I mean, it's really difficult to get impeached. So anyway, so I'm going to show you this clip where this guy, Jeffrey Toobin, he was trying to do his little talk out of nowhere routine, and this professor, you know, she just went in and schooled him hard time. Okay, Jeffrey Toobin starts with a -1 just because I don't like him.
Mr. Foley, let's start with you. Was today, I mean, the White House today, basically saying today was a good day for the president, was it?
I think it was a good day for the president. I think that James Comey came across as sort of a quintessential Washington insider who simultaneously sort of manages to be Machiavellian and spineless at the same time.
Wow, Machiavellian and spineless? That's a great description. That's a +1 right there.
The president certainly has the authority under Article 2 of the Constitution to appoint this person with the advice and consent of the Senate. He can fire him at any time for any reason whatsoever. He can certainly demand his loyalty. In fact, I think it's normal for a president to demand loyalty from all of his subordinates.
Do you really think he has the
All right, here comes the good stuff. Jeff Toobin is about to light the fire.
right to fire him for any reason whatsoever?
Oh, absolutely.
He says, if you don't give me $100,000, I can fire you, and that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, there may be a crime there that can be investigated.
I don't want any Catholics in my administration, so
yes.
I'm firing you. That's okay.
Yes, because there's two separate questions here. No, there's 2 separate legal questions here. One, can the president constitutionally fire the person? The answer to that is always yes, regardless of the circumstances, even if he thinks he smells bad.
He can fire anyone because it smells bad. That's pretty funny. +1.
Right? Number 2 is the president does fire him and engages in that sort of behavior, and we have evidence of that beyond a reasonable doubt. That could constitute a separate crime. And then the question becomes legally, can you prosecute a sitting president? I think that's legally ambiguous, but could that evidence amount to a high crime and misdemeanor under Article 2 to suffice for impeachment? I think the answer to that is clearer, and the answer would probably be yes.
We disagree profoundly about this, and I think the examples I gave are indicative of how serious what's going on here is. If there are crimes committed between the Attorney General, between the Director of the FBI and the President, you bet
What crime?
Obstruction of justice.
All right, tell me, explain to me how it's obstruction of justice.
When you, it's very similar to 1972 in the same Oval Office where
See, right there. obstruction of justice, 1972. When people don't know what they're talking about, they're usually going to give you some obscure reference just to try to sway the conversation in another direction. Watch, keep watching.
Obstruction of justice.
All right, explain to me how it's obstruction of justice.
When it's very similar to 1972 in the same Oval Office where the president said there is a pending investigation of his former national security advisor, and he says, let him go.
Wrong.
Nixon.
Let him go. That's the use of the FBI for political purposes, and it's unlawful, and it should be prosecuted and investigated.
Here's the professor and me coming out.
Okay, get ready. Here comes the ownage.
Okay.
There are two sets of statutes under the U.S. Code, under Title 18. They deal with obstruction of pending proceedings and obstruction of investigation.
Correct.
There's only one obstruction of investigation statute that would be arguably applicable. That's Section 1510 of Title 18 of USC. That basically requires that there be an act of bribery that prevents a communication to a criminal investigator about a crime. You would agree that neither one of those elements have been satisfied?
Correct.
Okay. So then we move on to pending proceedings obstruction of justice statutes.
That's the relevant one.
That's correct. There's 1510 and there's 1512. Both have pending proceedings language in them. Pending proceedings is a legal term of art. It's defined in Section 1515.
Right.
And a pending proceeding is a judicial or quasi-judicial proceeding in which, for example, quasi-judicial would be an administrative agency that has subpoena power, enforcement power. The FBI does not have subpoena power, so it does not qualify. Every single court that has been asked the question, does an FBI investigation constitute a pending proceeding under the obstruction statutes, has answered the question no, including the Ninth Circuit, the most liberal court in the country, in 2013.
Wow.
Correct. And there was a grand jury proceeding in the Eastern District of Virginia investigating Kelly at this moment.
Yes.
So there's your answer.
Let me bring in some other folks just for a second here. I know. I love the detail, though. I do love the detail.
Wow. Now, he got owned. I mean, he's got to admit it. Even everyone was just quiet. There was like 10 people on the panel. No one would say a word. They're like, we're not getting into this one right here. He got owned. Obstruction of justice. He don't even know what it is. So, I'm not going to obstruct this drink until next time. Make sure you follow me on Twitter @QReyes. And we'll keep chatting about this Jeffrey Toobin dude, because, you know, I used to like CNN, and I've just lost respect. I mean, you can't just do Russia investigations when there's people dying all over the world. There's so many things happening in our communities, and they're worried about, you know, whether Trump was talking to Russia. Who cares, man? There's people starving outside my front door. Like, why do I care whether Russia is meddling? Like, what I need to care about is, like, can people find jobs? You know, can people survive? You know, that used to be important. You know, Puerto Rico is becoming a state. Is it not? What's going on? I want to know about real issues, and these cable networks, they're really not giving you that. You know, they're just giving you these blah blah, you know, just anti government kind of things. You know, everybody wants the control and the power, when everybody that's really suffering are getting deported. People, there's things going on in the world. We don't have time for things like Jeffrey Toobin talking about obstruction of justice. He's obstructing real information being put out. So until next time, I'll be out, man. Peace.